Hi Jimmy, this is my evaluation of your report. So let's get right into this. You're missing your page numbering up here, so you gotta remember to do that. There are videos and stuff to help you understand how to do that. Formatting tips, this particular shows you how to put that up there. Also, it shows you what order this actually should be in. It should be your name, my name here, then the English 1 and 2, and then the date here. Okay, dangers of vaping is okay, but you might want to add here for that the as as a main title, something like research report, and then a colon, and then let this be your subheading, your subtitle. Okay. Also, by the way, this needs to be brought up to there. You need to start right immediately underneath that header, which is kind of a minor thing, but all those little things can add up, right? All right. Another thing, you need to make sure you tab in the first sentence of each new paragraph. All right. See how you did these. As these vapes got more and more popular, comma. So you might, let's see if you have any more common issues. They became easier to get. Might be better to change that to became. Yeah, you might want to put a comma here too. Since you put one here, a comma might work here as well. It's kind of it becomes kind of a list of phrases there. Probably you meant to say wean off of instead of lean. Wean, W-E-A-N. Okay, yeah, here's another comma. So you might want to review the commas and how those work. Anytime you have a sentence that's like a starter here, like a starting an introductory phrase, then the slight pause here, that tells you it needs a comma. So just read it out loud and you'll feel that slight pause there, and that tells you it should be a comma. Okay, so here is where you should end with the thesis statement. You don't really have a thesis statement here, so you need to make sure you go back to the materials that talk about how to do a thesis statement and correctly do your thesis. Remember, a thesis statement needs to start with something like, this report seeks to whatever, all right? So you want to fix that. Now, this apparently is the beginning of your, right here is the beginning of your literature review, so you got to make sure you go down one here and type the words literature review right here and put them in bold. That's all, just so you'll have a heading there. And you'll do that between each part. Capitalize C in Chinese. Okay, you need to properly introduce your sources, citations, and cite them correctly with signal phrases and parentheticals at the end. In order to make sure you do that correctly, look at the sample and how it's done in the sample back in week 9, and also look at there's a video in the supplementary videos that you may or may not have looked at by now. If not, you definitely need to look at it now. It's called Integrating Sources, and it shows you how to fix this and how to do that, integrating your sources properly. So you definitely need to do that throughout the paper. Okay, here you do have an entry finally, but it's hard to tell where that even started or anything. So you got to make sure that you have signal phrases to introduce each citation, as well as this parenthetical like this at the end of each citation. And the parenthetical should always include a page or a paragraph number in there too. Again, that video will show you how to do that. Okay, so yeah, you don't want to say this article, that article, this article. You want to introduce it by the actual author's names when you have them. Again, that's all shown in that integrating source video. All right, I'm going to move on from that. Okay, so that's the main thing. Just need to fix that in here. I can't tell for sure where your different parts start, so that's something else you're going to need to do. Is you're going to need to go through and make sure that you are putting in the different parts. In other words, you need to have the literature review. You need to have a methods section, which I'm not sure if you have that even at all. It looks like it basically looks like you're just writing a whole essay here and not really the proper report. So you're going to need to re-look at all of that report sample, the report guidelines and everything to see how you should have done this, and then make sure you refix it or revise it and edit it and resubmit it. Also, you want to look at how to fix the works cited page and how it all should look too. All right, so that's going to be the end of this video. If you have questions or need any help with any of this stuff, please feel free to reach out to me, okay? And that will do it.